There are pains no one sees, battles that don't bleed on the outside, but drain you on the inside. And perhaps the cruelest of them all is having to fight while smiling when everything in you is begging for rest. If you are one of the chosen, you felt this. That sensation of carrying a weight you can't quite explain, fighting invisible battles while the world assumes everything is fine. And the strangest part, the harder you try to stay strong, the lonelier it feels. But here's a statement that may sound strange, even controversial. If you're living through invisible battles, that's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of spiritual awakening. God's chosen rarely walk easy paths because they are shaped in silence, not applause. And if you've arrived at this video, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it's because you needed to hear today that you are not alone, even when everything feels painfully quiet. Before we continue, let me ask you something directly. What has your invisible battle been lately? Write it in the comments, even if it's just a few words. No judgment here. This is a place of understanding. Leave a like so this video reaches others who are also fighting in silence. Subscribe to the channel and stay with me until the end, because what you'll understand today may change the way you see your pain. There are invisible battles no one sees, yet they drain the soul as if they were open wars. The mentor knows and makes it clear that many chosen ones wake up every day with a weight on their chest they can't explain. On the outside, everything looks under control. On the inside, there's a deafening silence. And here's something curious. The stronger a person appears, the lonelier the battle usually is. This isn't weakness, it's raw humanity. And yes, you are not alone in this. He speaks to those who feel like they're failing, even while giving their best. To those carrying too many responsibilities and receiving too little recognition. God's chosen ones often walk through seasons where no one applauds, no one understands, no one asks if they're okay. That's where spiritual awakening begins to press in, even when it hurts. Because before the soul grows stronger, it must face its own shadows. And let's be honest, that's exhausting. A quiet promise is being planted here. These invisible battles don't appear for no reason. They arrive when something greater is being prepared, even if right now it feels like nothing but confusion. The mentor subtly hints that there is a reason behind this deep exhaustion, something few can see. This isn't the end of the road, it's a disguised calling. And those who realize this early begin to understand why some walk alone before they walk farther. The mentor looks at this journey and recognizes a painfully common pattern among the chosen, smiling on the outside while everything collapses on the inside. It's a familiar scene, becoming everyone's support system, solving problems, listening to confessions. But when your own pain tightens its grip, there's no shoulder to lean on. There's a specific kind of loneliness in that, almost invisible, that only those who live it truly understand. And still, they keep going, as if they don't have the right to stop. How many times have you swallowed your tears in the shower, taken a deep breath, and said, "I'm fine," when you weren't? Invisible battles are often silent because they're hard to explain. Fear of being misunderstood sets in. Fear of being seen as weak or ungrateful. And so silence becomes a habit. The mentor knows this silence isn't born from a lack of words, but from an overload of emotional responsibility. This is where spiritual awakening begins to tighten its grip. You feel like you're doing everything right, yet still feel lost. That confusion wears you down and makes you question your faith, your purpose, your path. God's chosen go through this because they carry far more than they show. And perhaps that's exactly where the key lies to understanding what these invisible battles truly are and why they never come by accident. Invisible battles don't arrive loudly or ask for permission. They settle in quietly, like a fatigue that doesn't fade even after a full night's sleep. The mentor explains that this isn't weakness nor a lack of faith. Silent anxiety, constant fear without a clear cause, an inner loneliness that's hard to describe. All of this belongs to a battlefield only those living it truly know. And still, many chosen ones keep pressuring themselves as if they're failing. There's a rarely discussed truth. Emotionally strong people almost never ask for help. They learn how to endure, not how to share. God's chosen often develop this inner resistance early on, but they pay a high price for it. The body keeps functioning, the routine continues, but the mind stays on high alert. It's like driving a powerful car with the handbrake on. You can move forward, but the wear is immense. The mentor reinforces something freeing. Feeling this weight doesn't make you smaller. It makes you aware. Spiritual awakening begins the moment you realize something inside you needs attention. These invisible battles are signals, not sentences. And when properly understood, they reveal why so many chosen ones feel like they walk alone, and why this apparent isolation hides a purpose not yet fully revealed. The mentor observes that loneliness doesn't come from a lack of people around you, but from the absence of a safe space to be vulnerable. From an early age, many are taught that showing pain is weakness. Society applauds those who endure silently, who handle everything, who never inconvenience anyone. And the chosen, often without realizing it, wear this role perfectly. Meanwhile, invisible battles continue behind the scenes. Far from any real support, there's also the subtle fear of not being understood. How do you explain a void with no visible cause? How do you talk about exhaustion that isn't physical? God's chosen feel this deeply because they perceive the world more intensely. Spiritual awakening heightens sensitivity. What once went unnoticed now weighs heavy. The problem was never you. The problem was always the imposed silence. The mentor makes it clear, almost in a whisper. It's not normal to carry everything alone forever. Isolation isn't strength. It's a warning sign. When no one teaches you how to talk about pain, the soul learns to suffer quietly. And that's exactly where invisible battles intensify, preparing the ground for a truth few have the courage to face, but one that changes everything when finally revealed. There's an uncomfortable truth rarely spoken out loud. The greatest invisible battles don't come to destroy, they come to refine. The mentor explains that many chosen ones endure intense seasons of pain because they're being prepared to see beyond the surface. This isn't punishment, it's process. Just as iron only becomes a sword through fire, the soul must pass through heat to gain shape and purpose. Along this path, something rare is formed: emotional maturity. Those who face these battles develop self-awareness, real empathy, and a strength that doesn't depend on applause. God's chosen learn to sustain themselves internally when everything around them feels unstable. Spiritual awakening happens right here, when you realize you're not broken, just being shaped by something greater than you can currently understand. The mentor reveals a crucial detail. Those who walk through this process don't come out the same. They emerge more conscious, more grounded, more whole. Invisible battles are not the end of the story. They are the middle. Understanding this completely changes how you face pain. Still, there's a quiet danger along this path, a risk few notice while trying to stay strong all the time. The mentor speaks carefully yet firmly. Suffering in silence for too long comes at a high cost. Bottling everything up, pretending you're fine, and running on autopilot can quietly exhaust the mind without warning. Invisible battles don't disappear when ignored. They pile up. Many chosen ones believe enduring silently is strength, when in reality it can be the beginning of emotional burnout. There's a dangerous myth among God's chosen, that silent suffering makes them more worthy or more spiritual. True spiritual awakening, however, does not require self-abandonment. It requires awareness. The mentor reminds us that even the strongest people break when there's no outlet. Refusing to romanticize suffering is a sign of maturity, not weakness. When pain finds no voice, it finds other exits. Constant anxiety, deep discouragement, increasing isolation. Invisible battles slowly steal hope, almost unnoticed. And it's precisely at this critical point that the question arises, the one that changes everything. What can you do to face these battles in a healthy way without losing yourself in the process? The mentor starts with the basics, what almost no one does. Acknowledge what you feel without judgment. Invisible battles lose power when they are named. Feeling fear, exhaustion, or confusion doesn't cancel who you are. It simply reveals something needs care. Many chosen ones try to skip this step and end up lost. A simple exercise is writing at the end of the day everything that weighed on your heart. No filters, no pressure, just truth. Another essential step is to stop comparing yourself. Every spiritual awakening unfolds at its own pace, and measuring your journey against others only deepens the pain. God's chosen tend to demand too much of themselves, as if they're always behind. The mentor offers something practical. Reduce your consumption of content that makes you feel inadequate, and increase contact with what strengthens you. Calming reading, grounding music, or a phone-free walk. Finally comes the hardest part for many, talking to someone safe. Not telling everything to everyone, but choosing someone who knows how to listen without judgment. A mature friend, a grounded family member, or even a professional. Small steps already begin to break the cycle of invisible battles. And when that happens, something unexpected appears. A quiet relief that opens space for a direct, almost intimate message to those who are exhausted from fighting alone. Here, the mentor slows down and speaks almost conversationally, looking straight into the eyes of those who no longer know how to keep going. He knows many chosen ones reach their limit without making noise. If no one has told you this today, let him say it. You are doing the best you can with the tools you have right now. Invisible battles don't make you weak. They reveal how much you've endured in silence. Maybe your exhaustion isn't a lack of strength, but an overload of weight. God's chosen often carry pain that isn't even fully theirs. Spiritual awakening is heavy because it expands awareness and sensitivity. The mentor reminds you that rest is not quitting. Pausing, breathing, slowing down for a moment is also part of the journey. Even the strongest heart needs care. He reinforces something simple yet powerful. You are not late, broken, or alone. Even when everything feels still, something inside you is moving. These invisible battles don't define your end. They mark the exact point where a turning moment begins to take shape. And when this truth is shared, the desire to speak, to connect, to share with others who feel the same weight naturally arises. The mentor extends a gentle, almost intimate invitation, knowing that healing also happens through exchange. Many chosen ones believe they're alone in their invisible battles, when in reality there are other souls quietly fighting similar wars. Creating a space to speak isn't exposure, it's refuge. Sometimes writing a single sentence lifts a burden carried for far too long. He asks a direct question without ornament, because the right questions break walls. What has been weighing most heavily on your heart lately? No need to explain everything. No need to justify yourself. God's chosen don't need to prove anything here. This simple act turns the comment section into a bridge, not a stage. Spiritual awakening also happens when you realize your pain echoes in other stories. The mentor emphasizes that supporting someone in the comments can be just as powerful as receiving support. A word in "I understand," a sincere piece of advice can change someone's day. Invisible battles lose strength when they stop being lonely. And it's exactly this sense of community that prepares the ground for the final closing. The reminder many needed but never heard before. The mentor closes by reaffirming something that must be repeated until it settles in the heart. You are not alone. If this video found you, it wasn't by chance. Chosen ones, while walking through invisible battles, often receive answers in the most unexpected moments. Sometimes the message arrives exactly when strength feels depleted. That's not coincidence, it's alignment. He reminds you that spiritual awakening doesn't happen on grand stages, but in the silence of those who keep going while tired. God's chosen don't always understand the path while walking it, but later they see why everything was necessary. Every invisible battle faced in silence built something no one can take away: depth, sensitivity, and real strength. So the final invitation is clear and sincere. Stay close, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because this kind of conversation continues here. There is still much to be said, revealed, and understood. And those who feel this calling know, this journey doesn't end here. It's only now beginning to make sense. Now that you understand your invisible battles more clearly, the mentor challenges you with care, but honesty. What will you do with all of this starting today? Awareness without action becomes weight. Spiritual awakening without movement turns into frustration. The chosen are not called only to understand pain, but to grow through it. Applying this knowledge starts with simple gestures, respecting your limits, speaking when needed, releasing perfectionism, and practicing presence. Think about this. If you keep living as if you're alone, even knowing you're not, what truly changes? Invisible battles only become lighter when you choose to face them with maturity instead of denial. God's chosen aren't those who never fall, but those who rise with greater awareness than before. So let me ask you, what habit do you need to abandon today so you stop sabotaging your own healing? If this video spoke to you, don't let it end here. Write in the comments what you're going to apply in your life from now on. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this space exists for those seeking depth, truth, and real transformation. There's still a long road ahead, and you don't have to walk it in the dark.